This is part 3 of my dive into games industry logistics. I'm Kylie and I match people with games. And last time I talked about pre-ordering and how pre-ordering for a retailer is not the same as for a consumer. We don't pay money up front, so we're not actually guaranteeing to get copies of the product because we're not paying for them before they're actually produced. Now that leads to the next question, which is why don't the publishers make enough copies then? Why don't they make more than they think they're going to sell, make enough to last the next year or so, especially since the turnaround time to make games is so long? That's a good question, especially because I, as a retailer, do often order a year or more supply of something. If there's a game that I'm really hyped on, that my staff loves, that I know I'm going to sell a bunch of, I'll bring a bunch of it in because I'm worried that I might run out at some point. So I'll bring in what I consider to be 6 months, a year supply right off the bat because I have enough cash flow to do that and because I have a place to store it. But that's just one product of the huge diversity of products that I stock. So I'm not actually tying up a significant amount of my capital in that one product. Whereas a publisher, they're going to come out with one game, maybe 2 games a year. They can't afford to put all of their cash flow into that one game and have it all tied up because until they can sell that game, they don't get that money back. Now, it used to be when there were fewer games on the market, a publisher could print 5, 10,000 copies of a game and already have clients built up that are going to buy it as soon as it comes off the press. Some of that could be direct retailers, but most of it is distributors who say, yeah, I'll take 1,000 copies of your game. I'll take a couple thousand copies of your game. So as soon as it gets off the boat from the manufacturer, it goes straight to a distributor warehouse. The distributor pays for it. The publisher's done. They've got their cash flow back. They can go ahead and work on the next thing. That doesn't happen so much anymore. Because of the inundation of games, a publisher can't be guaranteed that thousands of copies of their game are going to be bought right off the bat by distributors, right off the bat by retailers. I'm not buying them right off the bat. I want a chance to try it and play it first, then decide if I want to go deeper on it. Publishers have the really hard job of projecting how many copies they're going to sell in a reasonable amount of time to recoup their cash flow so that they can work on a reprint if it's selling really fast, or most likely work on the next thing. So instead of there being thousands of unaccounted for copies of a game out there upon release, sometimes there's hundreds. So once I've gotten the game and I played it and I decide this is really good, if there are only a few hundred copies left in the wild, they might be at different distributors that I can't access. They're in different parts of the country. Maybe it's gotten a little bit hyped, so other people have already picked up those few copies that are left. I just don't get the opportunity because there's not enough product out there because the publisher can't print enough if they don't know exactly where it's going.